New York prosecutors are urging a federal judge to reject the latest bail request from Sean Diddy Combs. They say the music mogul is trying to influence witnesses ahead of his upcoming sex trafficking trial.
Do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. You know what? All the boxes left over for the pizza. All the boxes. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we taught.
In a court filing overnight, prosecutors said Combs, in recorded jail calls, asked family members to reach out to potential witnesses, including some of the alleged victims. They argue it can be inferred from his behavior that Combs is trying to blackmail witnesses into silence.
Prosecutors allege that Sean Diddy is orchestrating witness intimidation from behind bars. They claim he has directed family members to approach potential witnesses, craft false narratives, and manipulate social media to influence the jury's perception. For someone accustomed to a life of luxury, the harsh realities of his current confinement mark a stark and jarring change.
Diddy Combs has been denied bail in connection with the sexual abuse and sex trafficking charges he faces. And as Les Trent reports, the music mogul who once traveled by private jet to all those mansions is now in a jail that is notorious for its bad living conditions.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs spent his first night behind bars inside a facility that is being called Hell on Earth. The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn is notorious for its appalling living conditions and rampant violence.
Sean Diddy Combs, once an untouchable music mogul, had a heartfelt conversation with his son as he faced the stark reality of life behind bars. From private jets and luxurious mansions to the harsh confines of a grim prison, his fall from grace has been nothing short of dramatic.
Have your bed with a 1.5-inch mattress, no pillow, and you also have a locker. So you basically have 3 feet by 5 feet to move around. So you have a basic 15 square feet. It is a horrible, horrible place.
Diddy's lawyers were so eager to keep him out of jail, they offered his palatial $48 million home in Miami Beach and his private jets as bail. Today, they are even offering to restrict female visitors to his homes, except for his mother.
Imagine being confined to a cramped 15-square-foot space furnished with nothing but a flimsy mattress, a plastic chair, and a small locker. It's a stark contrast to the extravagant lifestyle Diddy once reveled in.
How bad is it inside this federal lockup? There have been 2 murders, 4 suicides, and numerous stabbings and lockdowns in recent years. It's so out of control inside that 4 federal judges are reportedly refusing to send any more prisoners here. Donald Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen, spent a harrowing year in federal custody. He says for someone used to a life of luxury like Diddy, prison life is a severe shock.
You have a desk, you have a plastic chair.
Following his arrest, Diddy was denied bail and sent to Brooklyn's notorious Metropolitan Detention Center, a facility infamous for its harsh conditions. Often dubbed Hell on Earth, the detention center has a chilling reputation for violence, including stabbings, suicides, and even deaths within its walls. Diddy's new reality behind bars is nothing short of a living nightmare.
I knew I should wait outside a Turkish baths for him. You know what they do in the Turkish baths?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay. That's where a lot of gay men meet. And they all take hot baths together.
Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, has made controversial claims, alleging that Sean Diddy Combs visited a Turkish bathhouse reportedly popular among gay men up to 3 times a week. Deal's statements have reignited speculation and intense public discussions about Diddy's personal life.
There's really no deal that the U.S. Attorney's Office can offer, and it's certainly not one that Diddy will accept. It would involve decades in federal prison. We're talking about mandatory minimum sentences of 10 years for both the drug charges and the sex trafficking. So we know that Diddy has fought charges before. There were state charges, there were gun-related, the nightclub shooting with J-Lo, but he's going to dig in his heels, and this case is going to trial. So if you're prosecutors, you really want to make sure that your evidence is bulletproof, before you go down that route.
Diddy Combs is in serious legal jeopardy after being indicted on federal trafficking and racketeering charges. Legal expert Nama Rahmani, a former federal prosecutor, has cautioned that the mogul could face a lengthy prison sentence if convicted on both counts. The case has garnered widespread attention, further highlighting the mounting legal troubles faced by high-profile figures in the entertainment industry.
Based on the facts of this case, and I'll leave it at that.
Are some of the prosecutors on this case some of the same prosecutors that had been handling that, or that worked on the Maxwell case?
So, I'm not going to get into the staffing. I will say that this team, this group of AUSAs, this incredible group has been working on this case around the clock, and they've had their hands full. Next question.
Gus Rosenhill, NBC News.
In a significant development, authorities have unveiled allegations that Combs' involvement in a racketeering conspiracy extends well beyond typical business dealings. The indictment claims that Combs leveraged his empire to orchestrate various criminal activities, including trafficking and obstruction of justice. Among the most disturbing accusations are claims that he used force, coercion, and even blackmail to silence witnesses and victims who posed a threat to exposing his actions.
Good morning, sir. Combs' attorney said that his client has been cooperative with investigators. He said that this morning. I was wondering if you would have a reaction to that.
Let me just say this. I think that generally, and with increasing frequency, the word cooperative or cooperating has taken on tremendous elasticity, and it no longer really bears any relation to what the word means when we use it in a very specific context.
As the trial unfolds, it's becoming evident that Combs didn't solely rely on his status or wealth to maintain control. He allegedly wielded fear and intimidation as powerful tools. The indictment details several instances where Combs is accused of threatening victims with violence, including brandishing firearms, using these threats as leverage to manipulate and blackmail those around him.
So, responding to a lawful process and the like does not qualify as cooperation when we use that term here.
Mike Sisak, AP.
Thanks. To that end, was there any discussion of Mr. Combs surrendering? I understand he was taken into custody at a hotel in Manhattan last night, and maybe that wasn't the plan. Can you elaborate on how that came about and why that was?
I'm not going to be able to get into any sort of operational.
Even more troubling are reports that, following public allegations in late 2023, Combs attempted to silence witnesses through phone calls and direct interference. Witnesses were allegedly pressured to alter their accounts or remain silent, highlighting the extent of the blackmail scheme now under investigation by law enforcement.
There are going to be some motions in this case. One of those was addressed today. Now, if the judge does not need them back in court, the next time we will see Combs back in court will be in December. Brianna?
And this comes after his legal team made some pretty stunning accusations, Kara, about that now infamous video of Combs beating his former girlfriend as she tried to leave a hotel room. What exactly are they saying?
Yeah, that was one of the issues that was teed up yesterday.
Today's court session largely centered on procedural matters. Prosecutors disclosed that a substantial amount of evidence had been seized from Diddy's properties in March, including 96 devices. They described the meticulous process of reviewing and securing the material. However, reports have emerged suggesting that some of these devices may have been altered, with allegations that Diddy attempted to encrypt certain files before they were returned to his defense team.
For this hearing today, and that's what they spent a lot of time on in the courtroom. Combs' attorneys had asked for an investigation into leaks, saying that they believe the government alerted the press not only of the video, but also of the searches at his homes in March. But this video is something that prosecution said that there's no need for this. They have said that they did not obtain this video until after CNN has aired it. Obviously, we're CNN. We have declined to comment on these allegations.
The courtroom drama escalated when Diddy's legal team raised serious allegations about a leaked video that reportedly shows him mistreating his former girlfriend. His attorney suggested that the government may have tipped off the media about the footage, as well as details about the March searches. Prosecutors denied the accusation, stating they did not receive the video until after it was aired publicly. The controversy surrounding the leak continues to spark intense scrutiny.
So the prosecution said that they did not have this until after it was already made public by us and that there's no need for an investigation. So they said this is just an attempt to try to keep a damning piece of evidence out of this case. Now, the judge said he is not going to decide today on whether they should have a hearing. He's going to let the sides file their legal briefs and their legal arguments on this. But one thing that Combs' lawyers did ask for is what they called a gag order. They want the prosecution to be stopped from talking about any grand jury evidence in this case or any non-public evidence.
Complicating matters further, Diddy's legal team pushed for a gag order, seeking restrictions on both the prosecution and defense regarding the discussion of non-public evidence before the trial. They argued that certain media statements had been detrimental to their client's case, including an interview in which Diddy's lawyer suggested a racially motivated takedown. While the judge did not issue a ruling today, he requested that additional legal briefs be filed on the matter.
Criminal indictment lays out the allegations, only names Combs as the defendant, although that could potentially change down the line. We may see more defendants. But since Combs has officially been charged and he's locked up behind bars, there have been a lot of videos that have been surfacing, particularly online. And one of those videos is the interrogation of a man named Jonathan Oddie. Now, this is a strange one, maybe some would say an odd one. See what I did right there? So I want you to stay with me. So we go back to 2018.
The indictment against Diddy includes serious allegations such as trafficking and racketeering. According to the charges, he allegedly used force and coercion to control individuals involved in what has been described as freak-off group sessions that lasted for days. While Diddy's legal team works to build a defense, his shackled appearance in court serves as a stark reminder that the evidence against him continues to mount.
And Jonathan Oddie allegedly went into the Trump National Doral Miami Hotel and Resort in the middle of the night and ostensibly went on a rampage. The state attorney's office says that Oddie fired shots in the lobby and toward the chandelier, then draped a giant American flag across the front desk. There was a shootout when Miami police got to the scene, and Oddie was shot in the leg and tried to hide, but he was taken into custody. He faces multiple charges: attempted murder, armed burglary, grand theft. Now you might be saying, well, why are you talking about him?
It wasn't just the shackles that drew attention. Video footage captured the moment Diddy was taken into custody at his hotel, leading many to initially wonder if he had voluntarily surrendered. However, it soon became clear that this wasn't a typical arrest. Law enforcement had been gathering evidence for months and were fully prepared to act when the time came.
What is his connection to Sean Combs? Well, once Oddie was released from the hospital, he did an interview with police where he repeatedly asked to speak with the FBI, the CIA, Secret Service, the media. And during that conversation, he brings up, of all people, Sean Combs. Now, here's the thing. You might say, Jesse, what are you about to talk about? Does this guy sound crazy? I'll leave that to you. But what he ends up saying back in 2018...
Despite his status and influence, the reality of the situation is undeniable. Diddy is facing serious charges in what could become a lengthy and complex trial. The Southern District of New York is known for its meticulous and robust cases, and it's clear they've been preparing for this moment for quite some time. With Diddy now behind bars, the court proceedings are just beginning, and the world will be watching closely for developments.